Haute couture is a specifically French undertaking, although it all started with Englishman Charles Frederick Worth in the midst of the flamboyance of the Second Empire. Before Worth, skilled tailors were artisans. After him, they were artists. He created unique styles with new offerings for each season. Today, couture is how the big luxury groups show what they're made of on the international scene. But in Paris, there's still a handful of independent labels, as keen as ever to invest in high-end ingenuity.
Sociologically, we're now seeing a phenomenon, that of the super rich on one side and everyone else on the other. The super rich are demanding uniqueness, authenticity. They want to be offered new stories and experiences with which they can define themselves. And the more this goes on, the more I realise that my work as a couturier goes beyond simply the clothes. We're there to accompany, to listen, to understand. She's 1,79 m.
For the model, selection is ruthless.
Let's see, mademoiselle. The leg measures 1,14 m. It's not going to work. No, she's a little too short.
They need to be at least 1,80 m.
She's pretty, but she's too short.
Sorry, my dear.
We need at least a 120 centimetre leg. Nadia Araman's legs were 123 centimetres. You don't see women like hers. You don't see women like her around anymore.
Once the model's been chosen, the item is literally sewn onto her.
There's something I really can't stand anymore, and that's women's hands. Right now, I just don't want to see them. In general, I find they're either too garishly painted or simply not elegant. So I try to incorporate lots of long gloves. For me, what's really lovely is how they elongate everything. They make arms even more elegant, and they really stretch out a woman's body.
The key inspiration for his collection was the 1942 film La Nuit fantastique de Marcel L'Herbier, in which a man dreams of a woman who leads him into an enchanted world. Fournié was particularly intrigued by the film's use of light and the dreamlike mise en scène.
We've been really into 1930s motifs, so not at all that classic lace covered in flower patterns. It's an almost glimmering lace, but matte. That's just the main part of the dress. It's all about constellations. I've always loved constellations, because if you get lost at night, you need to throw yourself at the stars. So I'll show you how we're putting together the lower part. It's a rather special type of tulle. Underneath we've got silicone that's been completely saturated with matte flecks of silver. And the girl will have another entirely handmade layer on top of all this.
Unlike ready-to-wear, which is showcased months in advance of the season, haute couture collections are revealed just weeks before. That's to reduce the chance of other labels ripping off the most coveted designs. So Fournié reveals both offerings at the same time.
So our image is no longer undermined. There's a lot less copying going on. It's interesting because I now show my ready-to-wear and my couture collections at the same time, and then they're both in our boutiques straight away.
Serkan Cura is a Belgian designer with Turkish roots working in Paris. He does couture the old-fashioned way. Specialising in featherwork and corsetry, he's most notably worked alongside Jean-Paul Gaultier. His unifying theme for this collection, Disney's Frozen.
When you look closely, you can see sparkling snowflakes on top of other sparkling snowflakes, on top of even more snowflakes, and then little by little it starts to vanish.
Serkan Cura's label is only 3 years old. Collaborations with established names like Swarovski and Victoria's Secret have been key to gaining recognition. But it's couture he loves. For him, it's the pinnacle of artistic freedom.
I've got a model called Alex Wetter who's androgynous. As a man, he's just wonderful. And as a woman, he's just wonderful. I spoke to him the other day and he said, "Serkan, I'm not a transvestite. I don't do that. I feel like a woman." He's a man who could be a woman. That's a real gift for me. It's a real source of power to be what you want to be, to allow yourself to do that.
In the world of couture, a little eccentricity never goes amiss. Tran Thi Thanh Nga has by turns been a prodigious footballer, an advertising woman and mechanical engineer. She makes her own rules, reworking materials and reinterpreting French and Vietnamese traditions.
Actually, I was influenced with the mechanical too because it's very precise. So for my work, as you can see for this one, I use a lot of angle and mathematical together with origami to make sure they all go together, they flat like that, but when you put on the body, they're gonna be firm with the body. So it needs a lot of calculation, and I think that, well, my first degree helped me a lot. Yeah.
For this dress, Tran Thi Thanh Nga is weaving hundreds of meters of a single thread of silk. Working 10 hours a day, she's due to finish in a matter of weeks. Creating something unique, after all, takes time.